Hey, how's it going, guys? It's XI Forsaken here, and today I'm going to show you how to enable the Seamless Co-op in Elden Ring. For this, you're going to want to go to the NexusMods page, and you're going to have to make an account to do this download, and you're just going to download this co-op beta, and I'll leave a link to this down in the description for you. And you may have to enable it to be downloaded because Chrome's trying to block it just in case it could be a virus, but I've ran this and it seems to be pretty reputable. But once you get that, you're going to go to your game folder directory and you're going to be placing these files in the root of your Elden Ring games. And right here is mine. I have it on an external hard drive, so I just went to the common one in the C drive, but this is my D drive right here. And right here, I just copy all of these to the root directory of the Elden Ring game. The Seamless Co-op directory. And once you're in here, you're going to go and set your co-op password. This should be a randomized one. I'm just going to put one for the tutorial's sake. And once you have your password in there, you're just going to go ahead and save that and close out. And now you're good to start your Elden Ring. So when you do this, before you start going into the cooperative and playing with your friends, you're going to want to do a couple of things first. When you start up your game, you're going to make your character and go through the regular process like you will, but you're going to also have to hit a couple of key areas, and you don't want to pick up any in-world items, and just try to avoid picking up anything in general while you're running through this. If you do pick up items or grab extra grace points, it can mess up the game. It's just safer to go off and do these specific areas just to get started. So like I said before, it's kind of like setting up your game for the first time. You'll want to go and switch all your stuff and make sure it's set up for mouse and keyboard if you're on PC, or vice versa, your keybinds and whatnot. And you'll also want to go in and disable the tutorial notifications that it gives you, and that just kind of helps so that way when you're going through the tutorial cave, you don't get hung up on every enemy and have to exit out, and it just saves a lot of time when getting this started up. So now this is going to be one of the few items you do pick up, and it's right here up on the right. And when you come out here, you're going to not want to even bother fighting this guy because you want him to kill you, so that way it's just making sure everything's the same for every player that you do play with, so you just want to make sure that he kills you up here. I skip a lot of the cinematics just to make it quicker to get through this, but you can watch them if it's your first time or if you just want to watch them again. But right here I'm just kind of putting up a little bit of a fight just for the fun of it. And right here, after skipping through all that, you go through the tutorial cave, and this is where it's handy to have all of the notifications off for the tutorials. It just makes it faster to run through this cave. And that's going to be one of the 7 grace points that you want to grab when you start this game up. And then you just run all the way through here, and you're going to come across the boss. And it's a Knight of Godric, that I believe that's what his name is. And here's that room right up here. And that's the first stake of America that you run into, and all of these are just spots that you get hung up on with dialogue if you have the tutorials enabled. This guy is pretty easy to take out and pass through, and this is the emote that you grab, and that's going to be one of the last items you grab as well. Right up in this room, I run past this. I don't grab this item up here on the right, I just go right for the elevator. And that's the second grace site that you also grab out of the 7 that you're going to have. You come up here and you go out here and grab this grace site, and that'll be the third one that you grab. And you come up here and talk to Varre right after grabbing this third grace point. And you're going to want to deplete his dialogue and just make sure he's not saying anything new. And I'm just going through these as quick as I can, but you know that when he says maidenless as you are, you've depleted all of his dialogue, and then you come over to that summoning pool and grab that small golden effigy. After all of that, you're going to run up here and you're just going to want to avoid fighting that boss because you don't want to have any in sync between you and other players. And just come up here and grab this grace site, and that'll be 4 out of 7 grace sites that you've now gotten. And you're just going to run over to the gatefront grace point, and that'll be the 5th out of the 7 grace points that you grab. And you'll just be running past all these enemies if you can. And right here's that grace point, and you're going to be getting a conversation with Melina and grabbing the Torrent summons. And you can just skip that dialogue right there and continue your conversation with Melina. And you're going to want to accept this, and you're going to be given the summons for Torrent. And now that you've gotten done talking with Melina, you're going to want to be going back to the previous church that you grabbed the grace point at, the 4th grace point. And that'll be right down here. You don't even grab that map fragment because you want to save that for when you're playing with your co-op friends. And right here you're going to want to deplete the conversation with Ronnie. She'll be sitting over here on this ledge, and you just want to make sure you continue her dialogue until she disappears right here at the end. And right there, once you've gotten the spirit calling bell, you deplete this last little bit of her dialogue, and then you go back over to the gatefront checkpoint. And from this gatefront checkpoint, you're just gonna want to grab your horse and ride up here on the hill. And you don't grab this golden seed or this grace point right here up on the right. You're just gonna want to keep running past that. And we're going for the Liurnia checkpoint, because for the last grace point that we get for the 7 out of 7 grace points is going to be the Roundtable hold, and your 6 out of 7 grace point is going to be right here at the Liurnia cliffside grace point. And again, you're just going to be scaling this mountain and going up here around all these winds and bends. And then you're going to be coming up across the last little leg of the journey for it. And this will be one of the last areas that you go to, and it's just easy to get these all out of the way, so that way when you do play with your friends, you're all starting at the exact same point. You have the exact same amount of unlocks done. And right here, you just finished talking with her, and you allow her to take you to the Roundtable hold.
It seems Torrent, whereas there is, but I can take gathering. Very well, let my hand.
And this is one of the areas you don't want to go to when you're playing in the cooperative mode, because it's just a glitched out area because of how early beta the co-op mode is. But then once you're here, I just went back to the gatefront checkpoint because that's probably the best spot for you to start from. And I'm going to show you right here just a little bit of the to-dos and don'ts. This is the list that I'm going off of. I'm going to have a complete copy of this down in the description as well, just for you to follow along with. but there's things to avoid and things to make it more stable and things just to do before setting up the co-op, which we are doing right here in this video. But just keep in mind some of these things so that way your game runs as good as it can and you have the best experience possible. But I hope that this works out for you and you can get this all running so you can play with your friends. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to drop a subscription, a like on the video, and a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching.